Good morning, folks. TGIF, right? I'm glad the freaking market didn't crash, or it hasn't crashed yet. I'm a little bit superstitious and having CPI. If that number would have been bad, it could have been ugly. It could have been ugly. I think this market's just looking for an excuse to sell down, but I guess we're off the hook for another day. Okay, let me just share my screen. Let me share that darn screen. At least I remembered. At least I remember before Tom or somebody had to call me, or BR or Marcus. All right, so the screen is shared. S&P is trading 680 right now. I mean, yeah, it's down a little bit, but and actually, I guess this morning, probably when the number happened, I'm guessing that's the 730 bar. No, that's the 830. Oh, anyway, this morning on the open, the market did sell down into this area where there's been buyers before, and this morning there was buyers again. So we'll see what happens. Maybe we just grind here the rest of the day. Maybe it's just a revert to mean and just we pin the 680 strike. You know, it just stopped here. Who knows? Who knows? But because there's been so much volume to a comfortable volume here, it very well could get stuck here. It's kind of been stuck here for a while. Really since December, it's, you know, it really has been. It got 670 and that's too low. 690, 700 is too high. There's buyers down here. So, all right, let's look at the Qs. All right, the Qs look weaker on a relative basis, but that's been the way it's been for a while. The Qs are underneath their most recent mean. They've been grinding in the same area, but they're definitely weaker just versus their volume profile, which is what this thing is over here, which is how much volume has occurred at each price. So Qs are definitely weaker. Of course, this has kind of been a trend for a while. And I guess let's put in the diamonds, which is like there's the SPY, which is the S&P. The diamonds are the Dow Jones Industrial Average, DIA. It's a diamond. We never look at those. The diamonds, the Dow has been the strongest of the bunch, even breaking out to make a new high. But relative to its volume profile, it reverted to mean also. And let's look at the Russell. We can use IWM. And IWM looks a little bit more like the Qs in this situation. All right, it looks like the SPY too. So anyway, that's the lay of the land in the indexes. Let's check out Bitcoin. We're going to look at IBIT. Okay, we got a gap up today. Of course, because I have some puts that expire today. My target was this line down here. So, but I bought it over here. I bought them last Friday. Right here. But I checked the other day. It's even yesterday I wasn't doing well. And now if the market's up today, they'll be dead. All right. Well, you know, that's what superstition gets you. I thought we might have a situation this week. And this isn't a downtrend. I just shouldn't have been so aggressive. The way I set up my trade, I was going for new low. Did not materialize. All right, well, let's look at Bitcoin itself on Coinbase. And it's trying to revert to its most recent mean, or well, its biggest mean is 70, but it's building out one, but 68, 70, whatever. It's trying to get stuck in that area. That's better than in a free fall, obviously, but it's still suboptimal. But here's one sign of life, or here's one sign of life. I'm sorry, I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right, so let's do this. I mean, it's trying to break out. It took back the descending trend line and then kind of anyway, we'll see. We'll see. Gold and silver. GC is Gold Canada Resources, not gold futures. GC here at the COMEX is gold futures. This one's trying to revert to its most recent mean. It's been trading around 50. I mean, you know, it looks like 5,100 is the area that this thing's been most comfortable trading in, at least this month. Now it's been a lot lower, but hopefully this was an aberration and it builds value up here and builds a base for another leg up. Let's look at silver. All right, silver looks a little weaker than gold, just compared to its volume profile. Okay, so now let's go to the divas. Let's check out the number one diva, ULTI. This thing has been acting the most diva-ish lately, for sure. And true to form, it's down a point right now. Down 1.05. I guess let's put these on daily to look at these divas. All right. Let me make sure that this includes dividends, and it does. Okay. I mean, this one's flirting with the new low. I mean, it made one this month, February 4th, and then it took it out today. It's so. All right. Let's look at blocks. Let's see if blocks looks better or worse on a relative basis. It's about the same, maybe a little bit relative to its past low. Honestly, blocks looks a little worse. So between the two of them, but it's up 2.54 today. It's doing better today. Then let's look over here at ULTY. Now, I was going to try to make a guess, but I have no idea today. If blocks is up to, this is probably up a half point. Yeah, there we go, 64 bips. It's up a little bit less, down a little bit less. You know, it's just kind of the way it goes. All right. But relative to its recent November low, it looks better than blocks and ULTI, to be sure. Now let's look at KYLD. K-yield is what Howard calls this. Howard's going to be on somebody's station today talking to somebody. I don't know, is it ambassador or he was on with Rod the other day, but I saw some influencer going to talk to him today. I haven't got any of these interviews. There was like 3 interviews that lately there was a mic. I mean, I can't understand why I'm always locked out of Discord. Now that Rod's doing his stuff in Discord, and Discord won't let me in. Rod approved me. And, you know, you have to be verified, and I can never verify because I have 3 Discord accounts, and it thinks that I'm trying to. I can't. It's just a cluster. So I have no idea what he said. I don't think you can play a replay on Discord. So I've been missing all. There's no telling what's going on. I don't know why I can't. I don't know why I can't get in Discord. I can't get in my own Discord half the time. But Rod let me into his Discord. But then when I went to it says, okay, go to the room. They have a special like voice channel, or it's not a voice channel. They have a place where the thing is. It says, okay, enter here, and I click on it, and it just spins and spins and spins. It won't let me in. It's like the script doesn't work or something. So anyway, if he said something interesting, I have no idea what it is. If somebody has a replay of it or an AI summary, I'd love to see it because I don't know what to do. I can't. Makes me mad I can't get in Discord. All right, so K-yield is actually up 2.62. So K-yield and blocks are both up about 2.5. We have ULTY up about half, and then we have ULTI down right now. Now let's check out the newest divas, ISSB. So this one's the income stacked, 100% stocks plus 100% Bitcoin. plus a little yield. Plus they give you a little yield. This one's down 6.43. What the heck? I mean, Bitcoin's +3. Stocks are plus. It's Bitcoin and stocks, right? Or, I mean, I didn't mean to do that. Wow. Boy, that's what the heck? What the heck, ISSB? I mean, definitely I can see why it's a diva. It definitely, like I always say, it has the diva chart pattern straight down. Down and to the right is the diva chart pattern. So, I mean, it acts just like ULTI blocks. You know, it acts just like the divas, but my gosh, did that man have paid a dividend today? You know? X is, yeah, it did pay a dividend today. It declared a dividend today. Pay is the wrong word. Declared. But, so when you declare a dividend, the price, so they lost 9 cents from their price. So this thing, instead of trading 18.59, is really trading 18.68. But yesterday's close was 1942, so 1868 is still getting their butt whooped. Well, I don't know about that. I don't know what's going on. I mean, that's the one I bought. I didn't buy this one yet, the Bitcoin and gold one. I don't really have that much. It's just a starter position. But all right, so Bitcoin and gold is working. You know, it's up 5.9. Maybe that other one's a bad print or something. Because you know, it really shouldn't be. Well, let's check into that later in the day. It's just the market's just been open an hour. It's probably a bad print. I'm hoping it's a bad print. I mean, my gosh. All right, other divas. Do we have any other divas to look at? Those are the diva. Well, I always forget about these. These are definitely have diva. These are diva adjacent. Mago and Meme Y. Mago is the Tuttle Magnificent 7. It's down 94 bips. So this has competition with YMAG, which is down 1.15 from Yield Max. So Mago is outperforming YMAG. That's good. Let's see if it's outperforming MagY from Round Hill. That's MagY is a real popular one that a lot of people like, despite the fact that it gets its butt kicked by YMAG. Maggie actually, out of the three of them, has the best performance today. All right. So let's go over here to the. Let's go over here to. Yeah, I was just looking at Maggie and YMAG last night. YMAG's an amazing fund. Look at YMAG. YMAG's NAV is even better than Maggie. Maggie's NAV dropped like 3.5 points. YMAG's barely dropped. Well, I mean, it dropped about a point, but I mean, and then you add in that the total return is, 50% more on YMAG. Then you add in that the dividend's higher. The NAV is actually about the same on a relative basis. I did the math on them. One's down 8% and one's down 8.2 or something. The NAV's just virtually identical, but you have one asset that pays a 50% higher dividend. It pays a higher dividend and has better total return, and the NAV's the same. I mean, I don't get that one. All right, so let's go to StockTools. Let's go to StockTools.app, see what's going on over there. See what's moving, and we can talk about whatever funds you guys want to talk about. Did anyone pick up any KCOP? KCOP? Well, let's see here. So I always forget which window it's in. It's in this window. Okay, hang on. All right, let's just check this out. I guess let's look at the dashboard real quick. Okay, I mean, we got green across the board. SPY, Qs, IWM, UVXY. There's those diamonds I was telling you about. Gold, IBIT, XOP. There's no reason why ISSB should be down. It's got to be something. It's got to be something wrong. Look at this. Utilities at the top of the pack. Now they have neutral momentum, but today they're going up. As far as but industrials, which is Dow Jones Industrials, have bullish momentum and they're going up today. That's the only one that has bullish momentum and going up. But we also have, I mean, the next strongest would be utilities, healthcare, industrial. Don't really have anything that weak today. Here's the heat map. Financials are the weakest. Okay, let's go over here to the buffer report. This is their buffer report. This is not my buffer report. We could look at that too, but we probably don't need to after we look at this. K-Cop's already up 0.5 point. Sweet. Marcus is saying that. Hey, William. All right, where's my soda? All right. All right, we'll wait for it to load here for a second. Remember, guys, it's not financial advice. I'm going to put my disclaimer up there before I forget. And while this is loading, but we'll see what's going on. Excuse me. I was commenting on that one. Gosh darn it, these guys. You can't teach anyone anything on the internet. Discard. It's not even worth the time. It's not even worth the time. I mean, all right. Okay, here we have it. Okay, so on a one-day basis, COIW, you've got to freaking be kidding me. Well, I guess Coinbase had earnings yesterday. Well, evidently that went pretty well. Heck yes. Heck yes. All right, so that's on a one-day basis. Jiminy criminy. Anyway, all right, MST is also doing well, but of course it has double leverage. CO2 is looking good, but not as good as COIW, but that makes sense because COIW is leveraged, but only on half. COIW is a little safer, but sometimes doesn't make as much on a big up day, or oftentimes doesn't. Then we have CONY that's the safest of all of them, of the three. On a relative basis, it's definitely safer. If Coinbase is getting crushed, this one outperforms. Anyway, but so it underperforms on a big up day, and true to form, it's underperforming. It's underperforming even COII. COII is fairly safe too. These are the ones that generally do a little better on a down day. But the max yield really helps yield max out. Anyway, oh good, thank God we have BITX finally kicking into gear. Hell yeah, BITX. See, that's the way that fund's designed to work. This fund is the T-SPY strategy, but it does the T-SPY strategy on IBIT. Okay, so what they do is they write premium. Yeah, they're fully capped, but only between 9 a.m. and 4. And what they'll do is they'll try to if they're able to, they'll try to just be capped from 9 to noon. Matthew will take off his premium position early, and so he's open all night. It's open for upside all night, and it's also if you have a big gap up, you aren't capped. And then also he tries not to cap it the entire day. I'm sure sometimes he has to. Anyway, this thing's been a laggard, not because it's a bad fund. It's a good fund. It's because its parent asset is down 20%, since it's been introduced. This BITX came out at the worst possible time for a fund to come out BITX, and let's just look at BITX versus IBIT. All right, so I was just seeing when it came out. BITX hasn't been out that long. I think they must have had a symbol change or something, right? All right, I'm going to bring up this right here. Yeah, BITX. Dividends reinvested. Well, anyway, all right. I'm not going to obsess about BITX, but it's my proxy for Bitcoin. I've thought about selling it, but it's only like 5 or 6% of the account, and I want exposure to Bitcoin. So that plus blocks, BITK plus blocks is my Bitcoin exposure. All right, well, let's look at this other stuff. Well, I'm glad to see BITK kick it into gear. Oh, that's BITX. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, well, no wonder. I thought it was BITK. I'm sure Marcus put it in there. No wonder. Okay, well, that makes sense. That's why that thing I looked at didn't work. Okay, that makes sense. So hang on here. BITK. Yeah, I'm sorry. BITK did honestly come out at the worst time for fund. It came out September 24th. In the time since it's come out, its parent asset has dropped from 64 to 37. No fund could withstand that. So that's not the fund's fault. It's Bitcoin's fault. It is Bitcoin's fault. All right. Well, I was all excited for nothing. All right. Well, anyway, BITK is probably doing pretty well today. Also, it's probably on here somewhere. In fact, let's scan down until I find it. Now I'm on a BITK kick. Come on, BITK. Where in the heck are you? Well, we have a lot of green today. All of these. Look at all iSpy, double QA, triple QH, GPIX, XPay, all up a quarter point. Devo, Bali. We never talk about Bali. We haven't in a while. It's a good look. There's not very many that are down. We have Cashy, QD2I, JPMO, SpyT, TSLW, the Google ones, Broadcom, Palantir, Amazon, SMC, and some of the inverses are down. But we have a lot of good, steady green on the screen today. Look at old triple QY up 3/4 of a point. Good job. WDTE doing a great job. RYLD from Global X actually up a point. IWMI is probably, in my opinion, the best way to get Russell exposure. If you can deal with kind of a low dividend, it's NEO, so you're going to get a kind of a lower dividend and better NAV return. But IWMI is a good one, and true to form, it's up. Good NAV return. It's up more than the Global X one, and I bet you it's up more than the other Russell surrogates. But good job, IWMI. ULTY having an excellent day, up 1.14. AIPI having an excellent day. GPTY killing it. WPay killing it also. Interesting that ULTY is beating WPay. Just because so many people love WPay and hate ULTY, and actually, but it's just because the market's been bad. In a bad market, like I always say, the yield max fund's going to win in a bad market. They're more defensive. So, but yeah, ULTY is looking good in this bad market relative to WPay. So, here's what I'm talking about. Actually, I was wrong about that. Actually, going back to September 4th, which is the day WPay came out, yeah, ULTY is beating it a little bit, but not too bad. The reason I said that, I wasn't trying to gaslight. Let's go over here. I think we forgot to show this day. On the diversified divas, we look at this every day. day on the rolling total return, we have ULTY down 18 and WPay down 22. It's a 4-point spread. The difference is this starts October 31st. That last chart I showed you starts October 4th. So going back to October 4th, ULTY is still ahead, but going from, anyway, that's the reason for the little difference. So it's not that big of a difference. It's like GPTY and K-Yield. Take your choice. They've been running right together. I mean, at least over this quarter, you'd been about the same in either one of them. I mean, K-Yield was up more. I mean, I'm not saying that they're equal funds, but on a risk basis, they trade together. And then, of course, the safest ones would be, the safest one's QLDY. I mean, it just is. And then the most dangerous one, of course, is ULTI and blocks. There's no doubt about that. It's not even debatable. Now but once again, that's in a down market. It's because the market's gone straight down. But, those are the most aggressive. In an up market, they'll lead the way. But yeah, WPay is down 22. That's kind of shocking, but it's not really WPay's fault. It has leverage. It's not made for crypto to drop 20%. It doesn't have all crypto. It has some tech in there too, but tech sucks as well, right? Hey, we got Norman here from the West Coast. I love Fridays because, well, one, it's Friday, and two, I can always count on Norman to be here. Norman, I think Norman may be my oldest. Norman or Tom. There was two Normans back in the day. There was a guy named Norman with a different last name than you, or maybe that's a different account. Maybe there's just one Norman, but there's Norman Investing and Norman another person. I'm not going to say their name, but both of them are great guys and have been, or maybe the same guy have been fans for fans forever. But then also, and Tom has been here since day one. But then a lot of Marcus, I've known Marcus now for about a year. He's been a year and a half or something. I'm glad K-Cop's up. I'm glad everyone's doing well. Okay, side note, what's Marcus want to talk about? Hang on, I'm going to hit muted. All right, sorry about that. Okay, side note, guess which high yield SPY ETF is doing the best year to date? WDT? Well, so once again, that goes back to I'm trying to think, does that make sense? The way I look at the Defiance, Defiance is like Yield Max Jr. Or Defiance sometimes can be like Yield Max on a hit of asset. I mean, Defiance, so they're aggressive. They're aggressive funds the way they do their options. So they have tons of downside protection. Now they've changed their thing a few times, but anyway, I'm surprised. The thing that you have to watch out with WDTE, it's a fine fund. Although it seems like XDTE kind of has its number. But maybe not, obviously not this year. That's a good catch, Marcus. Let's look at that. They both pay about the same yield, WDT, XDTE, and then you have SDTY. They should be, those are in the same lane, the way I think of them. That's what I mean when I'm saying it has its number. That's what I'm talking about. Now, maybe not a fair comparison. WDT is capped 24 hours a day. XDT is only capped during the daytime. So XDT is more of a fair comparison with let me see here. XDT is more of a fair comparison with T-SPY. And yeah, of course, and that's why you guys all like T-SPY, because XDT is a darn good fund. I mean, it really is. I mean, and then T-SPY is a darn gooder fund, right? It's even gooder. It's twice as gooder. All right. But let's look at for the year to date though. That is pretty amazing. Is pretty amazing. February. Okay. And so T-SPY and XDT. Well, let's do Let's do WDTE. Wow. Wow. I mean, yeah, it's right there. It's right there. It is right there together. So let's look at the NAV. The NAV is down 60 cents on this one, and the NAV on this one is down $1, a little bit more, $1.03 or whatever, and it's on a lower price. So WDT's NAV, true to form of these ones that pay the higher yield, is doing worse, but on total return, it is beating it right now. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, thank you, Norman. I appreciate that. And SpyT's doing as well also. SpyT's another one that the theory of it's fine. It's the first one to do the call spreads. That's the one. That's the one when people griped about WDTE, which at the time was called JEPY, sucking so bad. And Jay solved the problem by making it pay less yield. So he did a call spread. So anyway, but once again, sometimes it just has its number. It just looks like other things that are similar have its number. Like, let's look at T-Spy. T-Spy pays a little less yield. What else pays 20%? Let's look at XPay, for instance. XPay's they don't do options, but they pay the same yield. Very fair comparison. Yeah, and they're both doing all right. XPay is doing a little better, but they're both doing all right. Let's look at XPay and T-Spy. Well, for the year to date, T-Spy not doing so well compared to XPay. But I mean, it's 1/10 of a year, so anyway, yeah, good catch, Marcus. Good catch. Good catch. All right, I emailed Mike Coe this morning, or I emailed his assistant or whatever, and I said, let's just do it live. So we're just going to do it live. So if either think of a question and come to the live stream and ask it. Like I say, I'm going to ask him about why they don't shut. I think it'd be interesting. I'm not trying to bust his balls, but I'm not going to really say that I think Feet sucks or whatever. But I'm going to ask him why they don't shut down funds that drastically underperform, that also have no AUM. And maybe I'll ask him about what goes in the process of shutting down funds. But yeah, that's what I said. We'll do it live. Exactly. Is that from a movie or something? That sounds like something I should know, like a cultural reference or something. But anyway, so that's live. That's Monday at 2:00. So be here. We'll be talking this weekend, and I'm sure you guys will put questions in. Also put questions in Discord, and I'll ask them. There's some other stuff that's in Discord. I forget what it was. We're going to talk about the 25% funds. The new lower ones, and so anyway, Mike is. I like Mike. Mike, when I really first started to learn about options, it was really before YouTube. I mean, YouTube hadn't really taken off the way it did until 2020 with the option content. So in 2017, I was desperate. I wanted to get back into it, and I was newly sober and had a lot of time on my hands down here in Austin. So the only information for options at the time was either a book, or you could go to Option Action. And Mike Coe, out of all the guys on Option Action, he was the volatility guy, and he's the guy with doing the reverse spread, and the more sophisticated strategies. So I've always really liked him, and so I don't think we'll run out of stuff to talk about. I'm looking forward to talking to you, even if I didn't have a channel. I mean, Mike is, I really enjoy Mike. And plus, he's an Austin guy. He lived here for 5 years, and he liked it, but he moved to California. But he's an ex-Austin guy, so I like him a lot. So anyway, we'll have lots of stuff to talk about. Mike is, Mike, you never have to worry about Mike running out of stuff to say. He's very knowledgeable, and So anyway, I think it'll be good. Inside Edition News 1993. Oh, yes, exactly. I knew it was a cultural reference. I knew it. And that's exactly what it is. It's Fox. Yeah, no, he was angry. He has a bad temper like me. I have a bad temper sometimes. I mean, I don't, you guys have seen me. I just get mad at myself mainly when I get mad when my computer won't work. And then I take it out on myself. Gosh darn it, why did I get this computer? I hate this thing. Yeah, I've been there, done that. I've seen that meltdown. I've seen that meltdown. Yeah, that's a classic one. I knew it was a cultural reference. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here, barring any other questions, because I have plans today. It's already almost 10 o'clock here, and I have plans at noon, and I'm going to be gone. Maybe we'll do a TGI. I don't know what time I'll be home, but maybe we'll do a TGIF live stream about 4 or 5. I really like those Friday live streams. So depending on if I get back in time, I'm going to do that. Okay. All right, guys. Well, oh yeah, I said Fox News, but it was Inside Edition. Okay, but yeah, he was on Fox later. But yeah, he got his start on Inside Edition. That's right. That is right. Inside Edition, and they had Deborah Norville, kind of an attractive blonde, kind of the Megyn Kelly look, kind of before Megyn Kelly was around. There was Deborah Norville, the super, blonde, waspy looking girl, and heck yeah. I hope waspy's not an insult. I'm not trying to be racist, but yeah, Friday the 13th. But you know what I mean. Megyn Kelly and Deborah Norville looks like somebody you'd see at the country club. It looks like, they just have that old money look. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll try to do a Friday the 13th stream at 5 o'clock, 4 or 5. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.